shocked to find out that there was a pipeline actually lying at the bottom of the Straits of Mackinac. The iconic image of the Great Lakes in Michigan, almost directly underneath it, there's this ticking time bomb.
I can't imagine a worse place for an oil spill to happen in the Great Lakes. The oil would spread faster, further, and impact more miles of shoreline than any place else.
Before 2010, I don't think anybody knew that there were pipelines, much less where they were. We were completely shocked to find out that there was a pipeline actually lying at the bottom of the Straits of Mackinac.
Michigan residents realized that Line 6B wasn't the only pipeline in their backyard. Endbridge has an extensive pipeline network running through the Great Lakes region, and one pipeline in particular running through the Great Lakes themselves. Line 5 travels from Superior, Wisconsin through the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and then splits into two 20-inch pipelines as it crosses the 5-mile-wide strait between Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. The twin pipelines follow the contours of the lake bottom, reaching depths of over 200 feet.
It's 61 years old. It's never been replaced. It's owned and operated by Endbridge, which is the same company responsible for the largest inland oil spill in history. So you've got the iconic image of the Great Lakes, and right almost directly underneath it, there's this ticking time bomb.
This is what an oil spill would look like in the Straits of Mackinac. The colored dots show where the oil would travel within the lake's water tables. Red is near surface, yellow mid-depth, blue near bottom. The oil would travel far, fast, and in different directions.
Already, after 6 days, these surface particles are down, heading into Rogers City, 40 miles away from the straits.
Dave Schwab, a research scientist at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, created the computer models. I met with him to find out why the straits were especially vulnerable to an oil spill.
It's just this picture where it really spreads out there. I mean, you couldn't run enough oil boom across to get any of this.
And that's a consequence of this oscillating flow that's so powerful. The amount of water going through that strait when it's going one direction or the other, at the peak, is more than 10 times what goes over Niagara Falls.
If only one of the aging pipelines in the Straits of Mackinac were to rupture and Endbridge was able to shut down the pipeline immediately, the best case scenario would be a 1.5 million gallon oil spill. A single color group represents that 1.5 million gallons and how it would move through the straits if it were released.
Particles that were released at mid-depth are now almost equally distributed between Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. After I finished doing the simulations, making the animations, I sat down and I thought, well, what's the story here? What is this really telling people? What's it telling me? And what it told me is that I can't imagine another place in the Great Lakes where it'd be more devastating to have an oil spill in terms of the amount of shoreline that would be impacted and the speed that it would be impacted at.
It's not until you get up to the middle of the bridge that you realize how big these lakes are. It looks like a fucking ocean. And all this water is at risk.
The Straits of Mackinac. People flock here by the millions each year. The pristine beaches and the clear water of the surrounding counties drive an $800 million a year tourist economy. But the iconic bridge and the oil pipeline nearly beneath it weren't always here. Line 5 was built over 60 years ago, which means there aren't a lot of people alive today who actually worked on it.